a happy, joyous, and rewarding year 2026 ahead of us. I've actually, in the last 6 years, I've been having media chat, but it's been localized. You know, usually I'll go to BCOS, and then about maybe 3 to 4 times in a year, almost on a quarterly basis. But it's been low budget, you know. Oyo State is not an oil-producing state, you know, so so it's been low budget for us. And then people started, you know, calling me. They will come to Ibadan and say, so you guys have done this much, you've done this, you've done this. It's almost like you light a candle and put it under the table. So I think I was convinced at some point that we must let the entire Nigeria know what is happening in Oyo State, and also they can come in and check as well. That's why I said, well, maybe for this once, let me have a medium type of budget media chat, you know. So no big deal, really.
By the way, we're broadcasting live on a number of television stations. Rise News, Channels TV, News Central, Dominion TV, and also TV Continent. So we are available on all those channels. But let's start with Oyo State. How the journey has been.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. We'll naturally start with governance and your performance as governor of Oyo State. The latest event which we just arrived at the moment it was happening was the signing of the budget of economic expansion with 192 billion naira for 2026. I know that you have themes: health, housing security, infrastructure, agribusiness, and education. I think those are some of the areas that you focus on. But I want you to get into finer details for the people of Oyo State who see the budget of economic expansion and wonder what it means. On the one hand, 892 billion. Your FAC allocation, give or take, yearly is about 240 billion. Your IGR is about 100 billion. And so when you put those together, you begin to wonder, how do you plan to finance it? But in real terms, what does that mean for the people of Oyo State?
Okay, the FAC is roughly now about maybe 19-20 billion monthly. So that's like 240. And then you have our IGR. It has gone up to about maybe 8 billion roughly per month. So that's another 8 times 12. That's 96, almost 100, like you mentioned. Okay, so you add that together, that's almost 340, yeah? But you have receipts, you know, from other sources. You have investment also in the state. And then we in Oyo State, we try to de-emphasize, you know, going cap in hand on a monthly basis, you know, to go to Abuja and start talking about federal allocation and, you know, things like that. So for us, from the outset, we said, look, our infrastructure will focus on our economy. So if, for instance, a road doesn't make a sense economically, we're not going to construct it, because at this point, what we are trying to do is expand our economy. And under Omitutu 2.0, we said, look, expansion of our economy will go through agribusiness, also solid minerals, tourism, and infrastructure. You've been to the circular road. The idea was, look, this circular road, give it to a concessionaire. Let them raise the money, and then recover their money over maybe 25, 30 years. But we were looking for people, you know, a concessionaire. We couldn't get out. We said, okay, we have to chest it. So the first phase, we put in the resources of the state. So in the course of the year, we spent close to $200 million on the first phase, the 32-kilometer stretch. It's you've been there. It's almost completed now. We will commission it first quarter of 2026, and with that, if we get a concessionaire, we have capital receipt of almost $200 million, you know, which we can put in the budget. So budgets are estimates that, look, we hope we'll get this in, and this is how we will apply it. But in the course of the year, I remember my first year in office. I came in May 29, 2019. The budget for 2019 was prepared by the previous administration, so we had to run it to the end. We reduced it. We came out and looked at the receipt. I think the budget there was about 240 billion. We reduced it by 25%. So if you check the budget performance for Oyo State, you know, through the last 6 years, we've been at about 70–75%. So this one is not going to be any different.
Okay, very good. It's good to start from that perspective, Mr. Governor. I was looking at the data that is made available, and I'm looking especially at different websites. One of them is Budget. And according to Budget, the state, or your state, has done well in some areas. Consumption in the state, you're ranked number 4 across 35 states of the nation. And the IGR is calculated as being relatively lower than most states. And I'm wondering, is there a problem with tax collection or generation of revenue by the state? Are there challenges in that area over the last 6 years?
First, we made up our minds that we will not increase taxes on our people. No new taxes. So in the past 6 plus years, you won't have any new taxes in Oyo State. But what we've done is we've brought in people, you know, into the tax net. It's a chicken and an egg type of situation. What do you do first? Do you, you know, tax the people first, or do you allow them, you know, create an enabling environment where they can expand production? When you expand production, and you know, you have a productive economy instead of a consumptive economy, then you are in a position to tax more and raise your IGR. So that is a less traveled road, but that is the road that we as government, we decided to take. And I'll tell you what we've done in the past, this year that is closing, 2025. We looked at the landscape in Nigeria. We looked at, you know, schemes that other countries, you know, other African countries, they've been able to take advantage of to expand their economy. And we found out that, look, let's take AGOA for instance, African Growth and Opportunity Act. What is the data for Nigeria? But countries like Mauritius, Rwanda, all of those countries, Kenya, they took advantage of AGOA. They expanded their productive base. But we were still talking about, oh, how much is FAC and all of that. So we said no. Now, we looked at the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. There's a provision in there that you don't necessarily have to operate at the national level. the subnational, you know, can also go out there, get their deal, get their own deals, and then fulfill it. So Oyo State, in this entire continent of Africa, Oyo State became the first subnational to sign the agreement as a party to. So any day you have AFCFTA event, Oyo State will be at the table with other heads of government from other African countries. Why did we do that? We didn't want to wait for federal. We want to broaden our own productive base, and we want to be able to, under that protocol, you know, expand our own economy and sell to other African countries.
Yes, thank you very much, Your Excellency. I want to take you back to the circular road project. I know that your government has invested heavily in road infrastructure. Some areas that were hitherto unlinkable, we've linked them. The SEYI, Bomosho Road, the Ibadan-SEYI Road, and that hub is the core agro business, the food basket for the state. Now, the circular road project, you know, has been generating some
issues, yeah?
Yes, you know, with especially
the
about
corridor,
500
blah, blah, blah.
meter, you understand. What is the philosophy behind it? That is number one. And then those who are claiming that, you know, they have properties there, so how far? And what is the state doing, you know, to ensure that those who have genuine claims will be adequately compensated?
Okay. The circular road, the concept is, look, you need rapid transfer around Ibadan. You should have a road that you know, can encircle the city, because it's a growing city. I came in on a British Airways flight, and then at the end, when we landed in Lagos, you know, they gave us some data about the flight. I said, well, this flight flew close by Barcelona, 1.something million people. It flew past Kano, 500 and something thousand people. It flew past Ibadan to get to Lagos, 3.5 million people. So I know that we're even slightly more. But if you go around Ibadan today, there's no gridlock, the type you experience in Lagos. And we don't want that to happen, because you learn from the experience of others. The circular road corridor, the acquisition was done well before I even became a governor. It was gazetted, and in the Nigerian Tribune of November 19, 2018. And that circular road project, the idea was mooted by, well, maybe initially by Baba Lamadeshina, but it was brought out, you know, as a project, and the first real attempt to execute it was made by the current Olubadan of Ibadan land, Baba Rashidi Ladoja. And that's why we named the entire 110-kilometer corridor as Rashidi Ladoja Circular Road.
Hello?
Because he set aside the first seed money. Of course, it wasn't done from records available to us. When Governor Kala came in, the priorities changed, so he would rather do, you know, use that money for other roads. So it's not about SEYI MAKINDE or this administration, you know, grabbing people's land. But when we came in, there has been encroachment on the corridor. And we said, so what do? We decided that, look, let's go on with the project. Where we can get the 500 meters on both sides, we'll take it. Where we cannot because of development, we will look at it. But for a highway like that, you have a minimum standard, you know, that you have to maintain to the highway. And this will be the first proper motorway in Nigeria. Simply because it is in the mold of maybe M25 in London, you know, London Orbiter. Or for people who are used to America, Houston, the Beltway, Beltway 8. I mean, it goes around Houston. We know that government exists to look after the people. So most of these people, we ask them for their documents. No document. But we still did not say, okay, no document, so you must go outside and be homeless. We said, okay, look, even with no document, if you can prove, you know, that you're the one living, you know, in those houses, we will compensate you so that you can go elsewhere, settle in, while we develop that corridor. And the corridor is not just, oh, people want to build estates. No, it's for industrial and commercial concerns as well. Because if you have to move from a consumptive economy to a productive one, you must have industrial corridors. Our children will have to walk somehow. They have to walk somewhere. So, and for me, you know, it is easier to take the bullet for the incoming, the next administration, because your state people have gotten so used to me, they can vouch for me, they know what I stand for. So if I come in and say, look, this is what we're doing, they believe me. We've been able to reduce to the barest minimum the trust deficit between government and the people, at least here in your state. After I went to address the people in that corridor, then they were telling me that, look, can you sign for us that, look, successive administration will not bother us again. So you trusted me to that extent that you want me to sign for you. I said, well, I will sign for you. But when the time comes also, I will also introduce people that will not bother you, you know, and then you can be rest assured that the principle of government being a continuum, you know, will apply.
His Excellency, I noticed some visible infrastructure that you've been doing around. I noticed there's no portal from challenge down there, which is very gratifying to know. But the central thing happens to be the people. How are you ensuring that poverty is tackled, you know, in Ibadan, particularly the last 6 years that you've been governor?
Well, the way I look at it is, for me as a person and for this administration, when people tell us, oh, we've been around, no potholes, you know, I've driven on a state road almost 160 kilometers from Ibadan to Ogbomoso, there's no pothole, you know, and things. I say, yes, but I won't want to be remembered, you know, for, you know, building roads, you know, infrastructure and all that. No. We will love to be remembered for the institutions that we're creating that will ensure that there's good governance and sustainable development and growth long after we've left this place. That ring road that you mentioned just now, if I ask a lot of people who constructed the ring road, I went, to search for the history of that road, and I found out that when it was constructed, it was the most expensive road per kilometer that was ever constructed in Nigeria at the time. And if you ask people who constructed that road now, I can tell you they won't know. So that is what you get. The only way they will know who maybe started a road will be if the road is not finished. If the project becomes abandoned, then they will tell you, this road was started by XYZ. Then that's it. Because I was walking within the oil patch at Kwale. So we went to Ogume, and then we saw a bridge. It wasn't, it was abandoned. And then I asked the people in that area, so, what's this? That bridge was started during Ogbemudia's time. Successive government did not complete it. Then you can get credits for that. But if you start a project, you finish it, and people start using it, within a very short time, they will have forgotten. So for us in Oyo State, we believe that we're not going to give people handouts. We will create, and we've been creating that conducive environment for people to, come in, have opportunities, and then they'll take themselves out of poverty. I was working inside a Shell Bonny terminal when they were sand-filling the entire Finima for Nigeria LNG project. And then all the fishermen and those people, they built, decent houses for them. It didn't take 5 years before the whole place was turned into a shanty town. So the approach, and again I argue this with the World Bank, subsidize productive efforts of people. So we said, when we hit this economic headwind, a lot of state governments, they were bringing in palliatives. So, okay, yeah, we'll have palliatives, give food to people. Yeah, what we did, we created what we call the SEYI program. It's sustainable action for economic recovery. So our SEYI program, part of it, you have the transportation sector, where we said, look, our Payseta transport company, they move close to 20,000 people every day. And we said, okay, for those 20,000 people, the vulnerable ones in there, students, elderly, physically challenged, they pay discounted price, half the price. So we subsidize them with 100 million every month. But that 100 million is subsidizing productivity. You're not going to just get on the bus for a ride because it's half price. You get on the bus for a ride because you're going somewhere that is important to you, that are likely going to yield something productive, for you. So that's our approach here.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So I must commend you. Like you said, you've seen the infrastructure, and people have described your administration as with inclusivity and people-oriented. The one thing I know about leadership is no matter what you do, people will have an issue. As we've seen in the case of the circular road as well, they've had to compromise a bit. My question is, how do you balance compromise and conviction? How do you determine what to go ahead with, no matter what people think, no matter what people say, and what to compromise on?
Okay. I believe that, government should look after the people. And I also always tell my people that we're not the most brilliant around. We're not infallible. It's only God that cannot make mistakes. So we may take decisions that, maybe in the long run may be wrong. I told Oyo State people when I was asking for their votes that I may not be right all the time, but I will be honest all the time to the people. So if we did anything that in the end we have to adjust because new facts became available to us, we're not that proud to say, look, we won't do that. So I think that's really the way we've operated. And it has connected us more to the people because they know. I go around them, I stay with them, I listen to them.
Yeah. Okay, Your Excellency, we're going to talk about politics and power.
Okay.
Before we get to that, just as a follow-up to this, talk about infrastructure.
Yes.
We've talked a lot about the secular route. But how about the airport? Why is there, attempt to upgrade the airports in Ibadan here? I know there used to be, or there was, an existing airport. But Oyo State can take advantage of the airport in the state. It's an international airport in the state. And it's so close to Ibadan. But you decided to go ahead and upgrade the one in Ibadan. Why? And then yesterday, after the presentation of the project, we were told that you had a meeting with the APC, what transpired? What was the matter? Just briefly.
Okay. The airport in Ibadan. I know you're biased a little bit because you're from Ogun State. That's why. That's why you want us to. But Ibadan airport has been in existence for at least 40. It was inaugurated 1982, I believe. So for at least 43 years. So your airport at Ogere, just started. So we looked at the economy of Oyo State, and we looked at elsewhere around the world. The best example I can give to you is just look at Dubai and Abu Dhabi. They are just like Lagos to Ibadan. Maybe slightly longer. I think it's about 154 kilometers. Here is 110, 112 kilometers. In fact, it's 135 kilometers to Lagos from Ojo. And between Dubai and Abu Dhabi, not only 2 international airports, but you also, they have Emirates in one, they have Etihad in the other, and they come into this place, and you decide, oh, okay, I'm flying Emirates, I'm flying Etihad, but you will land only 150 kilometers apart, and they are both doing well. They're both doing well. So for us here, we know people, I mentioned those sub-pillars that we felt we can use, to expand our economy. When we were given the opportunity to serve the people of Oyo State for the second tenure, we had a tourism to Yes, I've seen people say, well, you can come to Ikogusi in Ekiti State, you know, or you can go to this and that. How do you get there? I mean, the federal roads are not that great. If you're going from Ibadan here to Ife, Ilesha, I mean, it's a very difficult journey. Okay, my friend Dave Umar said they are starting the concrete road, you know, to come here. But they started from Ilesha end. I don't know when it's going to get here. It hasn't even gotten to Ife. But we felt we have been able to connect all the zones in Oyo State. We have 5 major zones. You have Ibadan, you have Oyo, you have Ogbomoso, you have Okeogun and Ibarapa. You have State Road, you know, linking Ibadan zone to Okeogun. 65 kilometers, Moniya to SEYI. We built it. You have, and that was the very first contract that this administration awarded, because Okeogun is the food basket of Oyo State, and Ibadan is the consumption center. So we needed that link. Then we linked Okeogun zone to Oyo zone.